Embark on a captivating journey through Berlin's dramatic rebirth from wartime ruins, its division into a city of contrasting ideologies, and the enduring spirit that defines its quest for unity. In the heart of Europe, a city lies in ruins. Berlin, once a bustling metropolis, now a shadow of its former self, stands as a testament to the devastation wrought by war. The air, thick with the dust of crumbled buildings, carries the silent whispers of those who once walked these streets. It is 1945, and World War II has finally come to an end. As the world breathes a collective sigh of relief, the victors gather in Potsdam, a quiet suburb of Berlin, to carve out the future of a defeated Germany. The Potsdam Conference, a meeting of giants, brings together Joseph Stalin of the Soviet Union, Harry Truman of the United States, and Winston Churchill, soon to be replaced by Clement Attlee of the United Kingdom. Their task is monumental: to lay the groundwork for peace and rebuild a continent torn asunder by conflict. In the grandeur of Sicilianhof Palace, these leaders, each with their own vision for post-war Europe, engage intense negotiations. The air is thick with anticipation and the weight of history. The decisions made here will not only shape the fate of Germany, but set the stage for a new world order. The conference culminates in the Potsdam Agreement, a blueprint for the occupation and reconstruction of Germany. The nation is to be demilitarized, denazified, democratized, and divided for administrative purposes into 4 zones, each under the control of one of the Allies: the Soviet Union, the United States, the United Kingdom, and France. Berlin, the heart of the defeated Reich, is itself partitioned, mirroring the division of the country. Between the Allied occupied sectors, there was communication, except with the Soviet-occupied sector, which was isolated and considered a city within a city. This division symbolizes the fractured nature of post-war Germany and foreshadows the ideological rifts that will soon engulf the world. As the leaders depart Potsdam, the future of Berlin and Germany hangs in the balance. The decisions made within the walls of Sicilianhof will reverberate through the decades, laying the groundwork for a divided Berlin, a city that will become a symbol of the Cold War's ideological battles. As the dust settles on the once vibrant city of Berlin, its residents emerge to a landscape transformed. The war has ended, but its scars are deep, etched into the very fabric of the city. Berlin, a city divided by ideology, now lies in physical ruin, a poignant symbol of the cost of war. The magnitude of destruction is overwhelming. Buildings that once were untouchable now lie in heaps of rubble. Streets that teemed with life are now silent, save for the echo of footsteps among the ruins. The air carries a somber reminder of the lives lost, dreams shattered, and the monumental task of rebuilding that lies ahead. The American, British, and French sectors, forming what would become West Berlin, stand in stark contrast to the Soviet-controlled East Berlin. This division, though initially administrative, soon becomes a chasm, reflecting the growing ideological divide between East and West. Amidst the devastation, Berliners show resilience and ingenuity. Families sift through the rubble, salvaging what they can to rebuild their homes and lives. Community bonds strengthen as sharing and cooperation become necessary for survival. The struggle for basic necessities like food, water, and warmth is relentless, but hope flickers in the hearts of the determined. In the shadow of destruction, the spirit of Berlin endures. As Berliners navigate their new reality, the seeds of a new beginning take root among the ruins. The path to recovery is fraught with challenges, but it is a path walked together, a journey toward reconstruction and renewal. In the wake of devastation, the city streets begin to stir anew. But beneath the surface of this burgeoning activity lies a profound struggle for survival. The war has left Berlin in a state of dire scarcity, with its residents facing a daily battle for the most basic of necessities. Food and water, once taken for granted, now dictate the rhythm of daily life. Queues stretch around blocks as Berliners wait hours for their ration. The black market thrives, a necessary shadow economy, where goods are bartered with desperation and cunning. In the midst of this situation, the spirit of community shines brightly, with neighbors sharing their scant resources, a testament to humanity's inherent generosity. As the seasons turn, Berlin faces the cold embrace of winter. Many homes, damaged or destroyed, offer little respite from the freezing temperatures. The quest for warmth becomes as vital as that for food and water. Families huddle around makeshift stoves, burning whatever they can find, from debris to treasured books, a sacrifice to stave off the cold. The shared suffering fosters an unwavering sense of solidarity among the people. Stories of kindness, a loaf of bread shared, a warm blanket offered become the threads that weave the fabric of the community. In these acts of compassion, the true spirit of Berlin emerges, resilient and unbroken. The struggle for survival in post-war Berlin is a daily proof of the human capacity to endure and adapt. Amidst the ruins, the city's spirit is undiminished, fueled by the strength of its people. Together, they face the uncertainty of the future, bound by a common determination to rebuild their lives and their city. In the shadow of a war that reshaped the world, Berlin stands as a city in transition. The task of demilitarization looms large, a symbol of the Allies' commitment to peace and a stark reminder of the horrors of conflict. In this context, the city becomes a refuge, a beacon for those displaced by war's merciless tide. The streets, once marred by the machinery of war, witness a transformation. Weapons are surrendered and military installations dismantled. Berlin, stripped of its martial guise, faces the monumental task of forging a new identity in a world desperate for peace. This process, though necessary, leaves a void, challenging people to reimagine their city's place in a post-war landscape. Beyond the rubble, Berlin's heart beats with the stories of refugees and Holocaust survivors. Displaced and dispossessed, they arrive in droves, seeking solace and sanctuary within the city's battered embrace. Their presence, a poignant reminder of the war's far-reaching shadows, exacerbates the housing crisis as the city struggles to accommodate its newest inhabitants. Every available space is transformed. Buildings, once symbols of the Third Reich's ambition, now serve as makeshift homes for those with nowhere else to turn. The city's landscape is marked by communal living, a necessity in the face of scarcity. Yet, within these crowded quarters, a sense of community strengthens as Berliners and newcomers alike forge bonds of solidarity. The city becomes a mosaic of stories, each tile a symbol of survival and the unyielding desire for a better future. In sharing their experiences, survivors not only find healing but also contribute to a collective memory, ensuring that the horrors of the past are never forgotten. During the challenges of demilitarization and displacement, it emerges not just as a city in recovery, but as a proof of humanity's capacity for compassion and renewal. The journey is fraught with hardship, but also with hope. For in the faces of refugees and survivors, Berlin sees not just the scars of war, but the promise of a shared future, built on the foundations of peace and understanding. In the aftermath of unity against a common enemy, the Allied powers find themselves at a crossroads. The city, a microcosm of post-war Germany, becomes the backdrop for a new kind of struggle, one not fought with weapons, but with ideologies and political will. The fragile peace that hangs over Berlin is threaded with tensions, as differing visions for the future of Germany and Europe begin to clash. The division of the city into 4 sectors, each under Allied control, was meant to be a temporary administrative measure. However, it soon becomes evident that the ideological divide between the Soviet Union and the Western powers is too vast to bridge. In the East, the Soviet Union begins to lay the groundwork for a socialist state, while the West champions democracy and capitalism. These contrasting visions for society create not just physical, but ideological barriers within Berlin. The day-to-day governance becomes a battleground of influence. Each sector introduces its own currency, laws, and governance structures, further complicating people's lives as they navigate these differences in their quest for normalcy. The unity that once defined the Allies' cooperation fractures, as mutual suspicion and espionage become common under the growing cloud of the Cold War. For the residents of the city, these political tensions are not just abstract concepts, but realities that shape their daily lives. Families find themselves divided by ideological lines. Friendships are tested, and loyalty to one sector becomes a matter of survival. Amidst this, the spirit of Berlin persists, with its people adapting to the ever-changing landscape of their city. As the political rift widens, the physical division of the city becomes inevitable. Checkpoints and barriers spring up, transforming the once fluid boundaries into heavily guarded crossings. This new kind of siege is one that threatens to tear its heart in two. The dawn of tensions in Berlin marks the beginning of a new chapter in its history. The city, once a symbol of wartime destruction, now stands as a testament to the complexities of peace and the challenges of rebuilding in a divided world. As the Cold War's shadows lengthen, the city finds itself at the epicenter of a global struggle, a city divided yet undeniably resilient. In the shadow of division, and with the chill of the Cold War, Berlin embarks on a journey of rebirth. The city, scarred by years of conflict and division, now faces the monumental task of reconstruction. But this is not merely the rebuilding of buildings and streets. It is the restoration of hope and the reimagining of a city's identity. In the West, aid from the Marshall Plan fuels a flurry of rebuilding efforts, transforming the war-torn sectors into symbols of prosperity and democratic resilience. Meanwhile, in the East, the Soviet model of reconstruction prioritizes communal housing and public utilities, showcasing the ideals of socialism. surrounded by concrete and steel of reconstruction. Theaters, museums, and art galleries reopen, serving as beacons of hope and forums for expression. The heart of Germany becomes a melting pot of ideas where creativity flourishes in the face of adversity. The true architects of the city's rebirth are its people. Families return to rebuild their homes. Entrepreneurs reopen shops, and communities come together to restore their neighborhoods. Each brick laid and every street cleared serves as a symbol of the indomitable spirit of the people, who, despite the divide, work tirelessly towards a common future. The story of Berlin's reconstruction is one of perseverance and renewal. In the face of division and uncertainty, the city finds strength in its people and hope in its cultural resurgence. Berlin's journey of rebirth, set against the backdrop of the Cold War, serves as a powerful reminder of the capacity for regeneration in the aftermath of destruction. The phoenix rises, and with it, the city reclaims its place as a city of innovation, creativity, and unyielding spirit. As the dawn breaks, a new symbol of the Cold War era rises from the ground: the Berlin Wall. This concrete barrier, erected almost overnight, becomes a stark manifestation of the ideological divide between East and West, physically separating families, friends, and a nation. The wall, with its watchtowers and no man's land, not only divides the city, but also solidifies the global struggle between two superpowers. It stands as a grim reminder of the failed diplomacy and the fears that fueled the Cold War. Yet, in the shadow of this barrier, the spirit of Berliners shines brighter than ever. Acts of defiance, from escape attempts to secret communications, underscore the human desire for freedom and unity. The city, with its divided streets and contrasting ideologies, becomes a global icon of the Cold War. Berlin's plight captures the world's attention, symbolizing the struggle for liberty and the stark realities of geopolitical tensions. The story of the city during this era is not just one of division, but also of hope, as it becomes a rallying point for those advocating for peace and reconciliation. As history marches on, the city's story continues to evolve, a reminder of the past and a beacon of hope for the future. In the end, the wall could only divide territorially, but not the resolve of its people, setting the stage for a new chapter in Berlin's history, one that would eventually see the wall come down and the city reborn, united